What caused the Maritime disaster? It was a dark and stormy night. The waves crashed against the ship's bow, spraying salty water across the deck. The wind whipped through the rigging, echoing a mournful howl through the night. The crew of the Maritime had been battling a fire for hours. Smoke filled the air, making it difficult to breathe. Flames licked at the wooden decking, quickly spreading to the nearby barrels of oil and chemicals. In a last-ditch effort to save their ship, the crew tried to extinguish the fire, but it was too late. The flames raced across the deck, engulfing the ship in seconds. The ship was swayed in the choppy waters, the alcohol sloshing back and forth within its tanks. It had been a long journey, and the crew was looking forward to finally reaching their destination. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. The ship lurched to one side and the tanks burst open. Alcohol poured out into the ocean, washing over the ship's decks and spreading out into the waves. The crew scrambled to try and contain the spill, but it was too late. The alcohol spread across the water, turning it blue to brown. Then it drifted towards the shore, slowly poisoning everything in its path.
Third Officer Lujan Ortolano doesn't know if any of his crewmates are still alive.
The Maritime was a chemical and oil tanker that set sail from New York to Texas on February 28, 2004. The ship had a crew of 27, including the captain. Early into the voyage, the vessel caught fire twice for unknown reasons, resulting in 21 deaths. The remaining 6 crew members managed to abandon the ship and were rescued by the Coast Guard. The Maritime then sank 45 miles northeast of Virginia Beach. The explosion occurred when the cleaning process for residual MTBE from the Maritime's cargo tanks created flammable fuel and air mixture. As a result, the holds were opened via an access point, allowing fumes to escape into the open space. The fire on a ship can be catastrophic, even if it's just one tiny flame. When you have tons and tons of flammable liquids in your cargo hold, with no way to control where they go or what will happen when something goes wrong, well, the results are inevitable. The tragic marine accident helped bring numerous safety improvements for ships across all industries, because nothing should ever come before human life. The formal Coast Guard investigation report conducted by the Coast Guard's Marine Safety Office in Hampton Roads on behalf of the government of Singapore highlighted several contributing factors, including failure to implement a safety management system correctly. The Maritime's lifeboats were not required to use immersion suits due to its vessel's fully enclosed hulls. However, rules have since modified, and a comparable ship is now required by law. These waterproof garments help increase survival chances in cold water with their design for safety features, such as flotation jackets or hoods, which can be worn over your clothing while still protecting from freezing temperatures outside of the immediate area around you if necessary. The Coast Guard investigation found that the crew of the Maritime was not following essential safety procedures. In addition, they discovered evidence showing how regularly and effectively emergency drills are conducted, but no such practice had been done over 6 months before disaster struck. Every month, ships must run fire drills as well as abandoned ship exercises. The Maritime incident is considered one of the worst tanker disasters in whole history. It is a tragic reminder to us all about the consequences of unsafe cargo handling practices.
200 feet below the ocean's surface, this twisted metal is visual proof of the devastating explosion on board the Maritime. The footage belongs to dive captain J.T. Barker and Tom Sawicki, who dove the wreck last weekend.
When we all came back, we couldn't believe what we saw. It's just total destruction from the house to the bow.
The U.S. Coast Guard released a report blaming the captain who perished with 20 of his crew members after the tanker exploded and sank near Virginia's eastern shore in 2004. The report found that Estradius S. Kavoras, a Greek who captained the tanker Maritime and violated several safety regulations, causing it to explode in 2004, led directly to his death. The statement notes that Captain was at fault for not following safety protocols, leading to an accident that claimed many lives in what became known as the worst maritime disaster since World War II. In a surprising turn of events, it was found that cargo tanks release fumes mixed with oxygen that could create highly flammable fumes. These were mostly likely ignited by a spark when Kavoris ordered their opening, a decision he may not have made correctly. After the explosion, Kavoris forgot to send out a distress signal. It's unclear why he did this, but eventually abandoned the ship without trying to save his crew or care for any survivors in need. The explosion of the Bow Mariner, a 570-foot vessel owned by a Norwegian company and operated by Greeks, registered in Singapore, went off 50 miles east near Shinkarigyu just after 6 p.m., February 28, 2004. According to the Boston Globe, the sound waves created by this event could be felt up north as far away as Maine, where residents reported hearing 2 blasts that were much louder than any others. When the ship exploded, it left behind an oil stain stretching for 3 football fields. In addition, the explosion sent 3 million gallons of alcohol, 200,000 gallons worth of fuel oils, and 53,000 gallons of diesel oil into our ocean's waters. The bodies of 18 crew members were never found. However, the survivors included 6 people whose testimony led to an investigation by the Coast Guard in hopes that they could learn more about what happened aboard that ship when it sank in 2004. The Filipino crew members were ordered to open the tanks at about 10 a.m. Although they might have known it was dangerous, their hesitation arose from fear of violating an order given by, what seemed like, the words from God, i.e., Captain. The report said the ship lacked cohesiveness, and Greek crew members were constantly threatening to fire many Filipino sailors. However, it's unclear whether this contributed in any way towards their tragic deaths as well. The investigation found that one of the most significant factors in this explosion was an opening cargo tank, which had been a stunningly significant breach of normal safe practices for a ship. When the third officer, Lugan T. Ortolano, approached Kavoris, asking him about transmitting a Mayday signal, he was ignored by them. Still, he sent one himself after seeing nothing was being done about it, despite knowing how dangerous the situation had become since 2 explosions had already happened. When Ortolano returned to the ship, he found most of his crew were not there. So instead, they jumped overboard and swam away from their sinking vessel to save themselves. Ortolano's actions saved the lives of others. He received a framed letter from the Coast Guard acknowledging his heroic deeds and thanking him for saving people. The Coast Guard has filed a civil penalty case against the Greek operator of the vessel, Ceres Hellenic Shipping Enterprises Ltd., for pollution damages caused by their negligence in overseeing operations that led to an explosion and subsequent sinking at sea.